Hey you, welcome to the I Feel You podcast presented by Project Feel. I am your host, Eddie Wise, and this is season 2. As most of you may know, we do 2 versions of this podcast. There's audio, so you find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, everywhere podcasts are found. And we also have very special visual versions on our YouTube. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to our Patreon. You get some pretty cool perks, such as getting these episodes 2 weeks early. So again, thank you so much for watching and enjoy the episode. Get comfortable.
Make yourself at home.
I just want to relax for an hour.
We're just chilling, drinking wine.
Just chill and just hang out.
Yes.
And breathe a little bit. Thank you so much for having me in your wonderful home.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, and thank you for being on the podcast. I do appreciate it.
I've been waiting for this day.
No, it's honestly such a great. It's gonna be a great episode. I have been. We just met recently, or it feels like recently. It's been actually like a year, I think. Right?
Almost.
Jesus.
In July. Yeah.
Time goes so quickly.
Seriously.
And I have always had, of course, I've always respected what you do and what you've added to our lives. And yeah, thank you so much again for being on the show, on the I Feel You podcast, episode 9, 10. Honestly, I don't even know. I think it's 9.
It's getting up there.
It might be 10, actually.
I think it is 10.
It's a special. That's 10. It's season 2, episode 10.
Right.
I can't believe it's been this long.
Stepping into the teen years.
Yeah.
You're
no,
getting
my
there.
Gosh,
Almost.
It's exciting. But yeah, this is, for everyone who doesn't know, this is Trish. What's your last name?
Mollo.
Mollo.
Like
I've never heard your last name out loud. I've only
Yeah.
seen it written.
So a lot of like growing
Trish
up
Mollo.
substitutes, they always say Mollo.
That's wrong.
Frustrate me. Yeah.
That's wrong. Molo.
It doesn't sound like
Mollo is so much cooler.
Yeah.
I
it's
love
a bit
that.
sexier.
I love that. Yeah, for sure. What's your I guess ethnicity, nationality?
Yeah.
What's your
So American.
Okay.
My mom is Irish, my dad's Italian.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So Malo's
Italian, yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And now that I'm asking that question, I also do realize, which I kind of realized this earlier when I was writing down topics to speak on, I don't know you that well.
Right.
We've, like I said, it's almost been a year. And I feel like we've been with you longer because of how much we've done together at this point. But we never get to really like sit down and chat, especially, in this way. So like long form intentional conversation,
right, like in depth.
So I'm excited to learn about you and
you as well. I have questions planned for you.
And I'm sure everybody who's watching is excited to also learn about who you are, Trish. First question that I have, because
I'll take a sip of wine for this.
I'm sure everybody's so curious. How do you know Project Feel? How did this happen? Yes.
So about a year ago, Marley, shout out Marley, we were out to dinner one night and she was like, yo, my friend's having a birthday party, like pull up. I pulled up and all you beautiful humans were there and I was like, damn, these are like some of the coolest kids I've ever met, And I remember being like, I want to be their friends. Me and Ryan like immediately hit it off, and like the next day we were like, yo, let's plan to meet up, get coffee, like, have this conversation that we're having now. Like, and then after that, it kind of like literally by the end of, I thought it was going to be like an hour, like coffee date. Yeah. By the end, it was like two and a half, I don't even know. We lost track of time. Yeah. We were like talking so in depth about, I haven't got that deep with somebody so fast and so long that I was like, yo, we're going to be in each other's lives like forever. Homies, yeah. And little did I know that like a couple months later I'd start managing him. So yeah, the universe works in mysterious ways.
It's pretty wild. And I remember that birthday party. That was a pretty good one. That was fun. Was that the one with the projector on the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That was cool. On the dark side of the moon.
Yep. And then like a few weeks later, I guess, I went to that live performance. Y'all like rented out like a house. It was like 5 floors.
Oh yeah, Etane.
Okay.
Etane was the event.
Right,
we call it Etane. It was the company that ran the event. Yeah, that one was freaking wild, man.
I was like, whoa.
It was like a mansion. Shout out to Lifer. He was the one that hooked it up. He had some friends that allowed us to throw that event. That was crazy. Was that before Safe and Sounds? Or after? Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, that event was super lit. We gotta throw something like that again soon, because that was like.
You guys had like CBD margaritas?
Yeah, there was drinks everywhere on every floor. It was like patios, music going down, and then like a full-on live performance, full-on set by like how many artists? 4 or 5 artists. That was the first time. I think that was the first time I had performed live in front of a crowd, which was pretty freaking cool.
Like ever?
For my original music, yeah.
Okay.
Which was pretty cool. Yeah, and that was a dope event, yeah.
Your performances, like just every time you're a star, dog.
Appreciate it. No, I appreciate that. I do. Yo, so, okay, that's really cool. I don't know a lot about you, Trish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know you at all, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we're going into this episode feeling that, because I'm excited to learn about you. Who are you? Who the fuck are you? Sorry for the language. I just don't know. I want to know.
I mean, one thing about me, I'm going to curse.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad.
Go ahead. Who am I? Wow.
That's a big question.
It's a big question. So, The World Knows Me by Trish. My real name's Patricia, actually.
No way.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Yo, that's crazy. Okay, that's awesome. I love it. Okay.
I'm the third Patricia.
The third?
The third. I mean, technically, like, if you want to get technical, my middle name is Helen, and my grandma and mom's middle name is Anne. So, like, I'm not technically the third.
Patricia, and what made them go Helen?
My mom's sister's name is Helen.
So
and she wanted to do all middle names after siblings.
My God.
Yeah.
Patricia Ellen.
Patricia
that is so,
Helen. Tell me I'm Irish, literally.
Yo.
Wow. Yeah.
Fuck
no.
yeah.
Tell me you're Irish without telling me you're Irish.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Trish Mollo is 26 years old. And she's just here to, I think, like, lead people to their magic, you know? I kind of love putting, like, spotlights on people, places and things, like, just, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I guess that's exactly how I would describe Trish Mollo.
Has this been the same Trish Mollo for a long time, or is this?
Yeah, I think like the root of my being has always kind of like been true, and like I've always like known who I was. Like I'll look back at like pictures of me from high school, and I'm the same goonie, like loving, like if I saw anybody getting bullied in high school, I would. I don't care who it was. Yeah. I'm like blocking my face. I don't care who it was, but if I saw a bullying, I would stick up for whoever it was. Like I was always just like genuine, trying to lead with love. I was like in theater, but also like an athlete. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of always this person. Yeah. Or like always like on the path of like becoming who I'm supposed to be, you know.
Where do you feel like you learned those traits, those qualities?
I honestly think like being the youngest in my family had like a big effect on like who I am because always like my family's really loud.
Yeah.
And I was the youngest, so I was like quiet, like kind of like absorbing everything. And like if I ever saw anybody like sad or upset about a situation, like I'd feel it hard because I just witnessed the whole thing. So, and now like in life too, I feel like I'm an empath for sure, but I'm able to read situations and how people are feeling and like catch a vibe of like what somebody's going through kind of immediately, I think just from like watching. So yeah, I think definitely my childhood is where I got those qualities from.
How big is your family?
So my dad's side, I recently discovered I like had a cousin.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. I'm not too like familiar with my dad's side at all.
Okay.
He has like a crazy story. And then like not too long ago, we finally like found his mother and then found out he had a sister.
Oh my
God.
God.
Yeah. And then his sister had a son. So me and my cousin have like been in contact. We're like in similar industries. So it's like, yeah, it's really funny.
That's really cool. What are the odds of that?
Literally.
What the heck?
But on my mom's side, it's not like I've heard of families being much bigger. But we are the type of family that like brings people into our family. So it like feels
much bigger.
Bigger.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because friends become family.
Yeah, it was similar to my family. We would take people in all the time, and my parents were pastors, so like the church was the family. So it was like always just a lot of people involved in my life at all times. So I definitely feel that.
Word. It's a beautiful thing too,
Yeah.
and I feel like my love is so unconditional because of that. Because it's like I'm willing to make you family if like
That's beautiful. And so what led you to I guess where you are now with arts and music, and I know you're going through a few transitions in life, and like a lot of things are shaping out differently for you, but I guess what led you to where you are now before those transitions?
Word. I mean, my whole life, it started as like I wanted to be an artist. Like there's home videos of me like with a brush like singing fucking Britney Spears. So I definitely wanted to be an artist. But the older I get, the more that like that has faded.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't even want to go to college. I like in high school I was like, fuck this shit, I was like, what is school gonna get me? Like besides debt. But anyway. Shout out mom, love you. But yeah, so I actually wanted to go to school to become a producer, like engineer.
Oh wow.
And I went
That's
to a
cool.
couple of like institutes to like check it out.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, I'll support you. I'm sorry, mom, you were supportive. I love you so much.
Love you, mom.
Yeah, but she had different plans, we went and she was like, yo, did you peep that she was the only female there? Or like blah, blah, blah. And she like kind of planted these ideas in my head that like being a female in this industry is very hard, which it is, for sure.
I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard of a famous female producer. Like,
yeah,
it's
right.
not really
it's
a
hard.
thing.
It's like there's not many in the industry for sure that are like well known. So I was like, all right, whatever, I'll go to college, right? I was not the best student in high school because I was like focused on other things. So I got into SUNY Fredonia. Shout out
Nice.
SUNY Fredonia.
Let's go.
And it was like orientation. I was like, what do I choose as a major? And I'm like looking at everything, and audio, radio, and production popped up, and I was like, that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. So I started going to school for audio radio production, which was like under the communications, like.
That makes sense. Sure.
Yeah. So.
And your intention in that was to produce?
To become like, yeah, I was like, this is like engineering.
Like a route, kind of different route to it. Okay.
So then I had my own radio show. And I was like, oh my God, this cool. Is fun.
Yeah,
I love this. Turned out I was like really good at it. So I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. But then I was like, if I'm going to be in school, I don't need a degree for this. Like, and then also it goes back to like me being the youngest, like learning from my older sisters and cousins' mistakes before I had to make them. Like, I want a degree. If I'm going to have all this debt, I want a degree that I'm actually going to be able to do something with.
Yeah.
So that was difficult. And I kind of like, now saying it out loud, feel like I'm in a similar position right now, like being at a crossroads of like not knowing exactly what I want to do. Yeah. So I stuck with like communications, like, but was iffy about like the concentration.
Yeah.
So yeah, I eventually transferred to SUNY New Paltz after like doing a year of liberal arts and like, and then Yes Jules, do you know who that is?
Yes Jules? I don't think so.
Okay, so she's like a personality host, type. And I saw her like managing artists, like having her own radio show, like doing a lot of like just being an entrepreneur and doing a lot of different things. And I was like, that seems cool. I looked up what she studied in college and it was public relations. And I was like, all right, bet, let's try that out. You know, let's try that out for size. So that's how I figured out my concentration, honestly. Shout out Yes Jules. Because cool. I was like, bet I want to do that. So yeah, I went to school for public relations then and journalism because I was like, if I'm gonna do this radio thing,
makes sense. Yeah.
Have my own radio show. I like hired a videographer, like, and this was like back in like 2018.
Oh, so pretty recent.
Yeah, like not too long ago. Yeah. And was like putting my shit out there on Instagram, YouTube. And someone that worked at Town Square Media, like, was like, yo, you want to work here, basically. Like, got a job at Town Square Media, like, leaving college. But it was upstate.
Doing PR,
doing, I was a promotions coordinator for, it's a radio network company. Okay. So I would basically just, like, pull up to, like, a Walgreens or like a Stop and Shop and like set up camp and like promote the radio station.
That's wild.
Yeah, like have them like spin a wheel. Like drive if you ever see like a radio station truck like driving around. So I was driving the fucking radio station truck.
That's wild. Yeah, that's cool.
Shout out Town Square Media.
I can never imagine, Trish. You're just driving one of those trucks and pulling out and like, yo.
Wow. Yeah. I also,
it's awesome.
My freshman year of college drove the drunk bus too. So like.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Driving's on my resume.
Yo, I didn't know you were a driver, Trish.
Yeah, if you need
cheers
me
to that. That's fucking sick. I don't know too many drivers out here in New York, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll pull up. Don't worry.
That's awesome.
Damn, I feel like I've been talking for hours.
No, you're good. Would you be comfortable driving a truck in New York City?
New York City.
In Brooklyn?
I mean, I'd be sweating like a fucking bitch, but
you do it.
I'd do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. It's all about the confidence.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
I know I could do it. But
yeah. No, I know you could.
Why, you got something lined up?
No. Yeah, I need a truck driver for the show. Yeah. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So I always like waitressed and was like, my first job ever was like, I was a hostess at like 15. From there, became a waitress. Was waitressing like throughout college. So Town Square Media job, you know, wasn't paying the bills, and it was also like upstate, and I moved back to Long Island after I graduated.
Yeah, true. So you were like going upstate for that job?
Yeah.
That's
it was
pretty
like
insane.
a 2-hour commute.
Oh, that's such a long time.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know what I'm,
Yeah.
I was like looking for other jobs.
He was a door in the industry, I guess, right? Yeah.
Right. And then I was waitressing at this place on Long Island, and it was the summer of like, Kiki, do you love me?
Oh my God, yeah.
What a fucking summer.
That was a banger.
That was a banger. In my feelings.
Wasn't that like right before COVID?
I guess it was like 2 years before, because that was
Really?
summer of 2018.
That was summer of 2018? Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah, right?
Time flies,
Time
bro.
fucking
That's crazy.
flies.
Okay. 2018.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was
album's still
doing.
fucking-
Yeah, I don't even know what I was doing in 2018. I think I was here in New York, actually. It's been 4 years, so yeah, I was here.
Oh, yeah, you were definitely here. I think that was like the first summer you got here.
I think so too. I feel like I remember that because when that album came out, when the Drake album came out, that was like the only thing they were playing at the Joe and the Juice, which is one of the first places I worked at. They were just nonstop playing that whole album, and I was like, bro, okay, it's good, but like, yo, chill.
Yep.
I mean, it's never been that.
Right. What was that Michael Jackson one that he had?
Yeah. The Michael Jackson one.
Right? Oh
Wasn't
my
it like
God. That one.
Yo, I literally, that's
Right.
Don't Matter. Don't matter to me.
Ah, fuck. That one was good.
Yeah, that throws me back, bro. Yeah, New York was different back then.
Seriously.
It's crazy.
I've also been bumping views a lot the past few days.
Oh my gosh, I gotta get back on that
Drake
one.
and the
Fuck
summer
Drake.
anthems.
We're not gonna stop talking about
Okay,
Drake.
sorry, Drake.
Whatever. Anyway.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it was that summer. And I love like making people like feel comfortable and like have a good time. Like we're all here, we're stuck here at work, so I would always be like dancing, fooling around in the kitchen. And my manager knew I was a goon, and the DJ like put that song on and was like, "Yo, Trish, go dance in front of the restaurant, like
Jesus
do what you
Christ.
want type shit." And I was like, Psh, "All right, I'll do it." So I
you did your thing.
did my thing. Like,
broke it down.
embarrassed.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, embarrassed.
Hell yeah.
Ran away.
Let's go.
And then the DJ was like, "Yo, like who was that?" And my manager was like, "She works for Z100." Like, I mean, listen, I didn't, but shout out.
Hey, yo, honestly, put you on. That's what I'm talking about.
Shout out Freddie from
Fake it till you make it.
Hudson's. Right.
Fuck yeah, shout out to Freddie.
I owe him still a free ticket to a Drake
Yeah.
show.
We'll get there, Freddie. Hold on,
Freddie,
relax,
I got
man.
you. I got
Chill. We're almost there.
He's gonna see this.
Yeah.
He's gonna send it to me. So I like go up to him after I'm like talking to him. He worked for Atlantic in the radio promotions department.
No way.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yo, like, there's an opening in my department. Like, would you want to come in for an interview? Blah blah blah." And I was like, Psh,
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
Like, I'm there. It was like a couple interviews I went in for, and I met so at that time it was like Elektra and Atlantic were merged as one label for a minute. But they were like about to
split.
Yeah. So the position was for Elektra. And so I met the president of Elektra during the interviews, Mike Easterlin. Yeah. And we hit it off. I didn't end up getting it because they like stayed with somebody who already worked in Warner.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I was like, hey, anything else?
Let
me know. Yeah. And Mike Easterlin was kind of like, yo, like, I don't know if you'd be interested, but we are looking for a business and legal affairs assistant. And I was
what
like,
is that? Business and legal affairs assistant?
Yeah.
What is that?
Like, I was like, it sounds like a lot of work, but like,
that sounds like a lot of
just
paperwork.
Get me in the door. Yeah,
Holy
a lot
shit.
of paperwork.
Wait, did you deal with like actual legal affairs?
Yeah.
Between like the company and people, or artists?
So mostly artists. Like when artists sign to the label.
Yeah.
I was dealing with like the contracts and I was assisting like the attorneys for Electra.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So I learned a lot about the business.
That's sick. Okay.
Just being in that department.
Yeah.
And then it was a foot in the door. I was like, what do I want to do from here? You know, like I was very interested in A&R. I was picking all of their brains, like sending them artists that I thought were dope, you know, like being annoying. And then, you know, I had my background in public relations. I ran into the head of publicity in the bathroom one day, and I was like,
yeah,
hey, how are ya? I like sat down, picked her brain, and then a few months later she was looking for an assistant and hit me up, and that's how I like got my start in publicity and been there ever since.
How long has it been?
So I've been like with Warner for almost 4 years, and then
oh wow,
this position in publicity for almost 3 years.
Geez, so like you made that climb like within that first year that you were working there.
Yeah,
so you went from like legal affairs, and then you just went straight up to like. That's pretty. And you've been there for 3 years, 4 years.
Almost
that's
4.
a long time.
In November it'll be 4 years.
And you've lived here the whole time?
No, so I was commuting from Long Island for a little bit.
Jeez.
And then me and my roommate now.
Yeah.
We met in the business and legal department.
Nice.
And like we hit it off because we were like, yo, we doing this together, you know. And yeah, now she's like my sister. She also like made a transition to digital marketing at Atlantic too. So yeah.
That's so cool. What a journey.
It's been a journey. For sure.
I appreciate your mindset and how you've developed because, you know, from what it sounds like, it was like every moment that you had was just like you being yourself and like not being afraid to put yourself out there in some kind of way. And I just appreciate that immensely because that's not fully who I am. I'm like a very a reserved person in most cases, and I feel like, to be honest, I've missed a lot of opportunities because of that. And you know different paths in life, different journeys, and like everything leads you to where you got to be. But I just every time I hear about somebody and like how they've made their transitions into things, every time it's like, oh, I just had a conversation with a person, or I did this and they noticed me and we had a conversation, and like now I know this person, and that I always appreciate that so much because that's how friends are made, that's how bonds are made, that's how like I know anybody that I know now is because somebody in my group was like they met someone and then decided to have a conversation or decided to invite someone, and then like it's just as easy as like, you know, hitting it off and just like having a good conversation. It's like, it's just so cool. Like
catching the energy and like, I definitely feel word of mouth is like the best form of marketing and like, marketing yourself especially. Yeah. But then, you know, there's two sides to every coin, right? Because I like people who are reserved. Sometimes I am a bit like envious of that because I'm like, damn, did I say too much? Or like, or did I like, you know, like, was I a little too extra in that situation, you know? Yeah. So yeah.
There's a happy middle. There's always a happy middle and like a moment for each of those where like, and you also can't predict, like it's, you know, in hindsight, everything is a good decision or everything's a bad decision. So like, you know, you do what you can. Right. Now how when did the idea, because you said with Yes Jewel, you saw that they were, she or he? She. That she was doing like more, she was doing a lot, and she was doing things that you have found interest in. Right. Because you said that you got into what you were doing, public relations, because of her. Was managing artists always like a part of that journey? Like, did you always want to get to the point where you were managing artists, or is that something that came up like recently?
So funny that you say that. When I first graduated college and there was like a moment in time that like I met the guy at Atlantic and was interviewing but didn't have the job yet. So I quit Town Square Media. I was like, this commute kind of sucks. Kind of sucks.
Kind of.
And, you know, there's something promising around the corner. I kind of just feel it, you know? Yeah. And during that time, I was also like in college freelancing and
Freelancing, doing
interning for this music marketing company
nice.
Called Viewmaniac.
Okay.
And I was like learning a bit about like marketing just by like picking their brain and everything. And I also public relations, like learned a lot about marketing there too. And one of my friends, he was like, yo, like I want to be an artist. Like he went by Cy Blaze. I was like, yo, let me manage you. Like, fuck it, let's do it. It didn't end up working out, but I did do that for a bit before I got this job at Warner. And now it kind of feels like full circle because like I'm like back, you know, at like a similar mindset that I was at like starting. Starting Warner. So
nice.
yeah, I guess so.
And now, first thing, I don't know the first thing about managing an artist. I can't imagine just managing myself. I'm like, you're annoying as fuck. Okay, you never want to be on schedule. You never want to schedule yourself. You never want to make your own music. You never want to make your own videos. You never want to. I can't imagine what it's like to manage people externally outside of me into doing what they need to be doing. So one, I respect you immensely. Okay.
Appreciate that.
And two, for people who don't know, you're now managing Ryan
J,
Franco,
Franco Colon, and
Franny.
Francesca.
And Francesca. I almost said the wrong last name again. I'm so sorry, Fran. Jesus fuck. Keep saying the wrong. I just know her as that, so I keep Francesca Santanilla. Anyway, so okay, so I just want to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your idea? Like, what led you to managing 3 artists off rip? Like, just diving head first into this pool of godforsaken misery. Like, what did you? What led you to? I know it's a beautiful thing. I appreciate you immensely, but I just know what it's like.
Yeah. Well, artists are just, you know, notorious for being difficult.
Fun creatures. Fun creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, but like because they're they're doing so much and like they're so creative that they're all over the place that like definitely like not an easy task to manage. Where was I at? So I like during quarantine had a really difficult time figuring out my next step. Yeah. Because I was like, I'm clearly like feeling held back. Like
you were working remotely at that point? Okay.
And like knew that there was like something more for me. Yeah. And like just listening to like when I first saw Ryan and Franco perform, I was like, whoa, first of all. And then, you know, just the nature of me is like, I want to help them. Yeah. Right?
And that was, where did you see them perform first?
I always
E10?
Yeah,
E10.
E10.
Nice.
E10.
Yeah, that was fun.
I love that name too.
Yeah, that's fun. It's such a good name. Anyway.
Yeah, really.
We'll take it.
Sounds like a character.
I think that company actually closed down. Like they sold the.
Oh shit.
Anyway, we won't talk about it. We'll take E10 and we'll stick it in our back pockets so we can use it in the future.
Yeah, no, it's not around. Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
You're good.
So I was like already in that mindset of like I want to help them because I believe they're stars. Yeah. And I was talking to my dad. He like came to visit and we were talking about like next steps, blah blah blah. And I was like, yo, there's these 2 artists. Like I always thought Francesca was amazing too, but I don't know why I thought she had a manager.
Interesting.
I'm not sure why, right? So I was like telling my dad, like, you know, I kind of want to like, I don't even think I've told Ryan and Franco this, but I was like, I want to like help them. Like that's what I've kind of been doing like on the side, like blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yo, have you ever thought about like managing them? Like, and I was like, no, I haven't. And then he like came back, he like put on this like Netflix documentary of oh shit, I'm blanking because I'm fucking on camera. What's that dude's name?
Turn away for a second.
Right, yeah. Just stop looking
just
at me.
Look away.
You're making me nervous.
Thank you, everybody, for looking away.
Yeah.
You can remember now. You're good.
Thank you. Yes, I believe it was Jeff Geffen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Geffen Records, whatever.
Yeah.
He was like, you need to watch this. If I just butchered that name, people are going to be like, why the fuck are you in the
Jeff
music
ain't
game?
watching.
Yeah.
Okay. And if he's watching, shout out. Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, you're right. This is dope. This is like exactly kind of what I want to do. And like his method on like how he went about things and like doing it more so like for the love of it and like truly gaining connections with the artists that he would manage and like blah, blah, blah. I was like, this really seems fitting. Fast forward like a day or two later, I had an intense shroom trip and everything after.
Shrooms, dude. Fucking love shrooms.
Shroomies, baby. Everything like
everything changes.
Crystal clear.
Yeah.
I like woke up the next day. I was like, love my life and like
know exactly what I want to do. Yeah.
I like texted Ryan and I was like, yo, at first I was like, can I be your agent? Because I didn't want to like be pushy or anything. I didn't know if they were looking for a manager. Like, he was like, yo, I just called Franco. Like, here's his number. Like, let's go. I had COVID.
No way.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, like once I'm done with this, let's all meet up. We met up and then that's where we decided like manage. And I was like, all right, bet. And kind of just like dove head first into the role. Then when I found out that Francesca didn't have a manager, I was like, I'm already doing it. Like, just,
might as well.
Just come on, let's do it. I'm like decently good at time management. Yeah. And it just like felt like the right time. So yeah, so I am winging it.
As we all are. I don't know if you guys, any of you know.
Yeah,
but every single person in Project Feel and every single person that's doing art at our age is completely winging it and doing this shit blind as a bat. Yeah, and it's great.
But yeah, that's kind of like where my mindset was
It's fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
I have never I don't know much about the managing world and what that entails, and I just know that they are very forward and very energetic and very like passionate about what they do, and I just have always appreciated the people surrounding artists. I don't know if I've ever thought like, I don't think I've ever imagined an artist as a singular person. When I think of J. Cole's and the Drakes and the Dojas and all those people that are out there doing big things, like I never imagined them as a singular individual. And I feel like that's something that people don't, like the general populace, the general audience, they don't always see that, like, right? Put together, yeah. There's always like a massive amount of people behind those big artists, like an obscene amount of people usually, from top to bottom. And I mean, I guess I can credit it to always watching movies and seeing the credits, and just understanding that at the end of every movie, there's like this long list of people that were involved, from point A to point B. No matter how they were doing what they were doing, they did something for that. And so I always noticed that, but I guess that also made me a little bit blind to how people don't see that. I always thought that people understood that it's not just Drake, it's not just these big artists doing their own thing and like doing everything that they do and making it all so seamless. It's some people, I experienced this. I learned this when I started to meet artists that were like completely solo, that were just doing everything on their own. And I was like, yo, you are destined to just crash and burn if you do not ask for help. Like if you don't have a solid set of people that are willing to like live and breathe what you're creating, you're going to and not that you're going to fail. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody. I'm sure there are people out there that made it to a very far point without people, but like at least someone to talk to. Like that's like, you know, and I know so many people who just do solo. And I appreciate it, but man, it you know, all this to say, like, I appreciate you immensely.
Right.
For
No,
what you do.
I even feel like you and like for Franco, like you and Joe, like your support, you know, and like just like having your friends also be like a support system there for you as well. Like,
I don't know if he would ever, I don't know if Franco would have ever released music if it wasn't for having the people around him that he did.
Word.
To be honest.
I can see that. Yeah, I feel like just anybody, even like me, I have, you're never gonna hear it, but I have a song out there in the world somewhere.
No way. I'm gonna dig.
Nope. It's my
Find
alter
it.
ego.
Find it.
Internet chill.
Find it. Okay.
But
Love it.
But it was really like my friends and like everyone that was always like, yo, release that shit. Or like, yo, like
drop that shit.
Yeah. Like supporting me, like being like, you know, my last 3 brain cells like all the time.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Definitely.
Great transition. Okay. I know this in your current state of life.
Yeah.
You know, with what you're doing, you're at a crossroads that you mentioned that a few times. You're like deciding what you want to do.
Yeah.
Do you, and I know you do, because I just feel this in you. What are your dreams? Okay. What do you dream about? Things that you just want for yourself or the people around you. I just want to hear that.
Yeah. My dream.
Yeah.
To live on a beach. That's my dream. I want to do really well for myself and everyone around me, have everyone around me like reach the goal that, you know, we intend to together. And then eventually I want to be at peace. Like just be on a beach, have a family, and mind my fucking business. That's my dreams. And like travel the world and like just knowing me, I'll probably always have like a little something. I definitely have always had like a little plan to start my own speakeasy.
Oh,
and like
that's so cool.
Like have performers come through and like
I can't wait to be like 50.
Yeah.
Sitting in the speakeasy like, this is cool.
Yeah, exactly. Like drinking wine, like definitely have like a dark theme to it, like chill, smoky, like and like just have my favorite artists come through, and like at that point I see myself having a big enough name in the industry that like people want to come and perform at my speakeasy
it's your
club.
low-key spot.
Yeah.
No cell phones allowed.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, that's
and that's my retirement plan right there.
I love it. Obsessed with that.
While I'm on the beach.
While at the same time. I love it.
That shit will still be running while I'm on the beach.
Yo, I feel that. I have a very, that's like that same energy. I don't have like a set plan, but like that same energy where there's like a space that I've cultivated that is very I guess very matured and grown and very on the nose when it comes to just the environment that we're in. And just like those kind of like I feel like ever since I went to like the actor's studio, which was kind of that energy where it was like just a lot of revered and very knowledgeable and very talented people just gathering in one space and not telling anybody about it and just doing the thing, and doing the thing for the sake of the thing, and not for anything else. I think that's my energy, is like, and it feels very similar to that speakeasy, that secluded, people performing and just doing it for like nothing else but just to perform. That's the I think that's the height of just life. And it goes, go.
For that moment, you know, like, I feel like that's something that I've recently been focusing extra hard on, like being present, like doing things in the moment for how I'm feeling exactly in the moment, you know, like, like, that's why I would want something that is, like you said, like, no phones allowed, you know, like, don't take fucking photos. And
we're here for this. Like, we're here for this moment, you know.
Yeah, like, everyone's here to enjoy this, you know.
Whatever this is, I just want. I'm sorry. I'm just.
No, don't be sorry. We need to stop saying
no,
sorry.
I just like, I'm feeling the wine. Yes. And the vibes as well. Like, I appreciate your energy so much.
Same.
And just everything that you're speaking on. It's like, I've always wanted my life to just be like art, you know. I've always wanted my life to just be art, and to live through that, and to just understand that, you know, it can be that. And you know, just, I'm really excited for those moments where we're all together and it's just, we're at the end and like we're seeing the credits roll and we're just like, oh, this is such a good movie, you know, like, oh fuck, this is so good, you know.
It's truly all about the journey though, you know, like, even like just looking back at like the short journey, I'm sure you can relate that like we've had already. It's like, damn, like some of those moments, you know, like, especially, I feel like last year was probably like the hardest year, like spiritually, mentally.
For sure. For
me personally, like I had to deal with a lot of shit to get to like where I'm at, like mentally. And I like read something that like hit so hard. And it was like, bitch, you didn't say this.
I know.
But like, did you ask for peace, right? So that's why you had that annoying ass neighbor. That's why you had that relationship that was not what you thought it was or wanted it to be. That's why like that friendship like had to end, or that's why like blah 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 blah. You know, like everything felt like it all happened at once, and it was all happening at once. But then once I like got out of it, I was like, fuck. I feel at peace. Like that's like, I needed all of those disturbances, like all of that for them to teach, like it taught me peace. And now I feel the most at peace and the like most harmonized I've feel like I've ever felt in my life. And like sure, it's scary, like I'm in this transition transition
I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. Yes.
Of my life, that I'm like, I'm not necessarily sure what is like around the corner, and I've never been so okay with that, you know. Like I've always been the type of person that's like I don't know, like have something lined up before you jump, or like blah blah blah. And like I'm kind of like, I have good faith that whatever is meant for me won't miss me, you know. It sounds so corny because you'll read that shit on Instagram later on, because
that's a fire tweet, bro. I have faith that whatever it needs to, you know, won't miss me. Like that's gas right there.
Fucking catch me.
I love that. Oh fuck.
You're about to, our sponsored ads later are gonna be like but yeah.
No, that's beautiful. I love that, because it's I feel like now I'm at the point, I was that for a while, where it's like, if I get to it, whatever is there is gonna be there, and whatever is like for me is gonna you know, make itself known. And now I'm transitioning into kind of like that other energy where it's like I want to make things for me, you know. I want to have things lined up, you know. Which is, I appreciate that we're both, you know, having that moment. Because I feel like, you know, there's so much we can learn, and especially from each other. And like, that's what I find so beautiful about friendship, is that there's so many portions of life that that are so important, and so many things that you learn or hear that don't really like affect you or land with you until you're in those portions of life. And things like that, where it's like, if it's gonna catch me, it will. And that's something I kind of intuitively felt when back then, but in the moments it was kind of like, why am I being so like lethargic or lazy, or why am I being so like passive about everything? Don't I want these things, you know? Don't I want to be where I want to be? And now I'm like, okay, I understood what I was doing back then. I understand what I'm doing now. And now it's like, I need to learn from that and kind of move forward from it. And I got the lessons that I've needed to learn from those moments. And so it feels like kind of the same for you. Yeah. It's like you got the lessons you needed to learn from those things, and now you need to move into a different like period of life, you know?
Yeah. I feel like what you're doing right now is a sense of like manifestation. And that's like a sense of like knowing exactly what you want, and like being able to like manifest it into your life because you're thinking about it and taking steps towards it, and like you know, action items, whatever. My thing is like, right now the only thing I know I want to do is manage, like but for like me, like what I want to do, you know, to fuel like my like every other part of me, my fucking Gemini ass, that's the part that I'm like, I don't know what it is yet, you know? So I'm just kind of like letting it come to me. And I think that's the reason why I'm not like, you know, because I'm kind of like, I don't know what it is. And I've been struggling with that question for a long time. Like, what is it that, you know, will like pay my bills and like make me happy? Because it all boils down to that, right?
Tomorrow's the first.
Don't fuck.
Oh my God, tomorrow's the first. It's all gone.
Should I pour more wine about that?
It's all gone.
Literally.
Man, so.
Yeah, that's the main. That's the thing, right? And fucking money.
Fuck money.
Right? I recently went on a road trip.
Yeah.
And so I drove like across the country. And on the road trip, the whole time, like, the only thought I had was freedom. I was like, whoa, like, I could do this. Yeah. I could just get a van, drive, right? Not pay rent, live out this van, and, like,
figure it out. Freedom.
That's what it felt like, literally. I've been holding on to that feeling as much as possible since the trip. But it really all comes down to money, you know? Like, it's just money in the pound.
Yeah, true.
Why does that song always pop in my head?
That's the song. I mean, it talks about it.
Yeah. Go stream Money and the Power.
I actually watched that music video for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good music video.
It's a great music video.
I like it a lot, actually. I'm proud of that one for sure. So, I guess one thing before we go into this, I guess, kind of last portion.
Okay.
I just want to, like, share some appreciation and something that I noticed. And I think that, like, one thing that I'm learning and that I'm also learning from you, to be honest, the thought that I actually had on the way here is that you have, you know, you walked into our lives and you have done nothing at this point. You've done nothing but add to our lives. And something that I really like, I appreciate, and I was like, man, I want to be able to, like, meet someone or be a part of someone and just add, and not subtract, and not expect any addition, and just walk into someone's home or walk into someone's life and like be able to just give, and I just want to say that I really do, like, in thinking about this episode and thinking about what we were going to speak on, that's something that I did realize, and just seeing what has been happening as of late in my friends and people that I'm super close to, and like I can see your influence and what you've been adding to them, and I just wanted to let you know that, like, I learned a big lesson from you.
Oh my God.
Passively and not completely directly. Like, I that's something that I want to aspire to, is just be able to be a part of someone's life and add to that. And, there have been a lot of factors as well that have added to that notion and kind of added to that idea that I've been having. But you being like the central part of that. So just wanted to let you know that. And I know it's a lot, and I know it's a lot, but I'm sure there are
nicest things anybody has ever said to me.
I'm sure there are people that watching this that feel the same, that are gonna message you when they're watching this to tell you that they also feel that way. So I just wanted to share that with you.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. Well, before I cry, I feel like, more or less, you definitely do that without even knowing.
For sure.
Like I said, like circling back from the jump, like I always felt like my mission was like to help people put a spotlight on things and such. So just like hearing that from you, and like I'm very hard on myself as everyone is, I always feel like I don't do enough, or like I'm like, I'm working on it.
Yes. As we all are.
So like just hearing that, just know that means like a lot.
I'm glad.
And I'll probably sleep like a baby angel.
That's sweet.
What about you though?
Nothing about me. I'm good. They've heard enough about me. This show, we can get to that after.
All right. We'll have a nightcap.
True. What's I guess what's like I something that we only have a few more minutes left, but I mean, it can go over. It's my show, so I can do whatever I want.
Fuck 'em.
What made you kind of like, I guess not, I don't know if you fully moved away, but like what made you not want to, I guess what made you move away from creating art yourself, It's a question that I'm dying to ask.
Yeah, I think it was like me, a lot of different things, right? The main thing probably was like thinking I wasn't good enough, or like listening to it, like hating the way it sounded, or, I DJ'd for a bit, and just like not having time to like practice and like putting energy towards other things instead of like, what I like, saw myself doing. And like now looking back, I'm like, if I like kept on that DJ journey, like I'd probably be a dope fucking DJ by now, like, but, part like not thinking I'm good enough, part like procrastination, part, jumping on a new path. Like, I really think that like, as soon as I started working at the label, I like, a lot of my focus, time and energy went towards that. And I was like, okay, this is like the rest of my life. And then, like I'm like constantly relearning the lesson of that, like nothing is forever. But yeah, for like when I first started, I was like, this is, it, like, this is my, this is my career. Like, I'm about to be an executive here, like, like, envision my kids walking down the halls and shit. No, I didn't do that ever, but.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, so, you know, partly all of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like recently started like a poetry page, and like I've been like journaling, and like I consider journaling like an art form for me, just because I love writing, and like getting back into that stuff has helped. I still sing in the shower, you know.
Yes. I want to sing in the shower.
You should. Letting it out.
I'm gonna do that tonight.
You know? You got to.
I love singing so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't do it enough.
So would you consider yourself singer, songwriter, rapper, producer?
It's really honestly, it depends on the day. Like it could go so many ways. Starting off, it was like, you know, singing and then acting. And then eventually things started getting added to the list, and like now I would probably say it's curation is probably first, ideation, and then after that it's probably, gosh, I haven't done a lot of the things in so long. I don't know, depends. I don't want to talk about it. We're here to talk about you, okay? All right, listen, so all right, so we're actually we're getting towards the end of the podcast. And I'm sure that sucks for you guys, but this is, you know, towards the end of the podcast, what we like to do is first, you'll tell us what's next for you. If you have anything going on that people can like support, ways that they can support, things that they can do to, you know, make your life a little bit easier. Did I say easier or did I say ear? I don't know what I just said.
You said easier.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. And then after that, give us if you have any words of wisdom that you might want to drop on us, or how you've been feeling, and yeah, we'll use that to end off the session.
So what is next?
Yeah.
Follow along and find out. I mean, go follow my artist and stream the artist that I manage. You won't be disappointed.
Agreed.
Their ads are down below.
I guess I'm doing that now. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, and words of wisdom, I guess, like something that I've been working on lately is like separating like myself from my thoughts, and just like know that you are not your thoughts, and like being able, it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, but like being able to observe your thoughts and being an observer of your thoughts, and like not becoming your thoughts, will help you on a daily basis.
I feel you. I feel you 1,000%.
Word.
That's truest words I've heard today.
Word.
Thank you so much, Trish.
Thank
Appreciate
you so much, Hector.
Of course.
I feel you.
Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys immensely.
Tune in next time
For the next one.